Che Sankomoyo, media thing. It's a difficult conversation, but still a seminar. And a dynamic, what exactly am I pointing to? In the last few days, I've intentionally stayed away from it. And news ever free the Brazilian Football Federation. And they have been clear. It's more like a PR move, but almost go through the entourage of the player involved, to make sure that they get whatever that they want. And it is in the wake of how people have realized how good a boy we are, and how good he is, how good he can be, how much they want him to be projected into. And again, okay, they say every day, man, good morning, hi, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much. So what you see once is subscribe to the channel, now show, subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. A very, very important part. Subscribe to the channel, not turn on notification, not share link on number OBR, or passports, any analysis, enjoy it. It's for all clubs, not just Chelsea or as you see. The boy called Estevao Willian, or a player here. People in Brazil believe that the last time Obi and Neymar Estavao it was Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. It is not Hendrik. And maybe it is because this boy, Chelsea were too quick in getting him away from Brazility. People did not see okay, Madrid for one with Barca for one. So maybe people underrate the quality of Estevao Willian. People don't really know how good he is. People think say, oh, he is another player from Brazil, he's another Hendrik. No, they believe that in Brazil he is better than Hendrik. He's better than what Hendrik had come to do. He's better than all of these Brazilian players in recent times, except when Neymar was coming through. And so what's Brazil for now? Results have not been coming. And I'm saying results ember. They have had tough results in the national team. Omar Estevao Willian, Hendrik, you're part of the national team. Vinicius Jr., they think say he can do more. He's not delivering as it stands now. And then they want to get results. Football, it's almost at a crossroad in terms of the national team. Coach of the national team is telling people, say, in the next World Cup, they want to make sure say they win. And the boys have had some injury, be almost try somebody diagnosing, almost keep it boy not fit. They want to make sure say the boy is fit to come and play. Now, what is the warning? In the last few days, the Brazil Football Federation, true boy in the entourage, Akache Chelsea said, there are 4 things that almost say they won't accept when Estavao moves from Brazil to moves from the team or boy in Paris Mirage, to come to Europe. And Chelsea have gone back and have told the boys entourage say they don't want to be told what to do. They want the player player. And in fact, it is Andre Curry in the leading charge for the Brazilian national team. No matter Andre Curry said the boy is a player on Momo Pen and they want to make sure say they will take it through. Now, Omakache Chelsea say, 1, the boy is not going to be a bench warmer. When man in bench. Into Omakache Chelsea. Say, Omo say Omo de Estevao Willian ever. Then the boy will go and stay on the bench. The boy will not be playing matches. The boy is not going to be a mainstay with Chelsea team in there. Almost sure. They should rethink their plans. Because any other team nobody Estevao Willian ever England. And it is about how much they want the boy to play and expose him. And Medikaka, people do not know the quality of Estevao Willian. Chelsea essentially went to South America and they got the 2 of the best talent in the whole of South America. That is Kendrick Paye and Estevao Willian. They got Estevao Willian from the Brazilian Premier League and then of course from the Ecuadorian League, getting Kendrick Paye. Kendrick Paye is more central. Estevao Willian can play out from the wing area, can dictate games from those areas or from the right hand side. Mind you, at Chelsea, there's a certain Cole Palmer who is still playing at Chelsea. There is no Madueke who has found his form. So, who plays where? There's Pedro Neto can play also on the right hand side. Who plays where? Which is a very, very important thing, very, very important piece of the conversation. But Brazil front of the one fan. Oma catch Chelsea for. Oma catch Shields, Stewart, Andre Carey. I mean, Wayne Stanley. Say, we need boy near the neighbor. He is not a bench woman. That's the first thing. There are 4 things. That's the first thing. Second thing, the boy will not go on loan to whether a Chelsea feeder club or whether it's a club in English Premier League or whether it is in Strasbourg or then they have told Chelsea point blank. Say Estevao Willian, they will not allow the boy to go on loan. And there are 4 things. Indeed, I'm going to be very, very careful about what their plans are for Estevao Willian. Now, Chelsea's plan is simple. Chelsea Arjun Mono. Say boy ni baby through England. They will put him in Cobham with Madueke, Mo, Palmer, Mo, Pedro Neto, Mo, all the other players now, and allow him play. Then allow, I'm talking about preseason. Allow the coach to do an assessment of the player. And then they also the sporting directors to do an assessment to know, say, is the boy ready to play in a senior team? Boy, no. Now you move Brazil. Is the level here not too high than him? Can he play? And Chelsea's plan was simple. If they do that assessment with the sporting directors and then the coach and all of these people, say, Omotion as a boy ready, he hasn't gotten there. He doesn't have the skill set. He hasn't really developed to the level where he can play as a Chelsea player week in, week out there. Then obviously, they would have to take him elsewhere to go play on loan. And now it was quickly. And Andre Carey, a contact Chelsea for catch said, that's not the plan. And it is because the boy is getting an opportunity to play for the Brazilian national team. Omonim said, he has a chance to be the face of the team, even though Vinicius Junior is at Real Madrid now. Even though there's Rodrigo Gosh, even though there's Hendrik in Real Madrid, they believe that if he performs in Chelsea and he's playing well, now Madrid national team, Brazil national team, that's what could deliver. He becomes the face of Brazilian football. And then the Brazil Football Federation leader, they need that man. They need a spark. Almost in Vinicius Junior when it comes to the Brazilian national team. They don't get it in Rodrigo Gosh. They are not getting it in Hendrik Ramirez or team until they want it in someone. And they believe that the next big thing, obviously, the numbers are there for everybody to see. It's a brand new friend, Hendrik Ramirez or Honum. And it is going to be the thing or Honum. But they want to work on it. They are going to have a discussion. That's the second thing. The third thing, they say, they have told Chelsea that the boy is not a right winger. I'm catching Chelsea for him. He said, boy, no. Although he plays as right wing at Palmeiras, he is essentially not a right winger. He can play in all of those positions. He can play as a 10. And essentially as a 10, he believes strongly the boy called Estevao Willian can't play as a 10. So when he is coming to Chelsea, they shouldn't think of going to use him as just a right winger and keeping him there. They believe that he can affect the game centrally. Now, in all of these things, Chelsea have said that for them, it's about competition. And if you look at all of the things that people from Chelsea here come about that issue here, the first thing they're saying is that Estavao should be focused on beating Madueke number 1 to that position. If you're able to usurp Noni Madueke from the position and then take over from there and own that right wing position, then you dream of taking the central attacking midfielder, which is the number 10 role from Cole Palmer, which is not going to be easy, to be very honest with you, because Cole Palmer, one the English player, he's also being seen as one of the big things in England. They want to project him, but you see, as a Chelsea fan, you're not even supposed to worry though. And months time we ain't how as a Chelsea fans, and that your boys owners not to players, baby. No, the need for competition is important at the highest level. If you're able to manage it well, it is the reason why most of the clubs in Europe do succeed, because there is competition. Competition for places, competition for sports, competition for how good a player is, how good you are in certain zones. If your skill set doesn't fit and you can't compete, then you can't play at the highest level. It's important for them to have competition. The third one is about where the player plays, the position of person boy in the ball, which is that of our friend Hendrik Ramirez, and they are pushing Estevao Willian. They are pushing very, very hard. Say Estevao, every boy inside area, no, planning to make, and Chelsea said, just after the break in December, no, or Beba Kubam to come and meet with the boys, no, come and start their acclimatization work with the team, no. Chelsea are planning Estevao Willian to make a visit with Cobham training ground in January to help with acclimatization of him. And Chelsea have said it several times. Chelsea sees long-term future of Estevao Willian as a creative presence behind the striker. despite spending majority of his time at Palmeiras on the right hand side. And this is exactly Asema Estevao Willian and Torajin have put out, and they've made sure that Chelsea stick to that. Again, Estevao made it clear to Chelsea that he wants to be deployed as an number 10 role when he arrives in the capital, and the Blues are planning to grant him that wish. They are making sure they give the boy, they made the boy very successful. The Brazilian Football Federation see him there. They don't really have a number 10. They know say on the right wing, they can have somebody in the Brazilian national team. On the left wing, Vinicius Junior more. They want to have the boy called Estevao Willian playing more centrally, on creative chances for them. Of course, it means that the competition for players in that right side axis of the Chelsea team, very, very, very limited, and people would have to put out their best to get it. And Chelsea, I say, they don't have any plans in taking the boy on loan to go and play for any other club, or other places. They want to integrate him straight into the Chelsea team in summer 2025. And Chelsea have no plans and intentions to complete a quick fire loan departure after he arrives from Palmeiras next summer, as plans have already been made to hand him a regular game at Stamford Bridge in 2025-26 season. And that's it with Abantia, your friend Estevao Willian, which is very, very important for Chelsea and your future now. They need him. They want to make sure that the boy is in there. It is very, very important. Very, very important. There are a lot of games there. So Chelsea are in the early kickoff in the morning against West Ham in the London Olympic Stadium. But I've told you, say, this weekend, almost all of the big teams have tough fixtures. Into me, really game this weekend it sets you apart, especially for Chelsea. Having started the way that they've started, it builds momentum, builds confidence. A difficult ground for Chelsea to get a win at, and if they go there, no Minyasa results now, it gives a lot of confidence for the team and for them to build on for the rest of the season. Like I said, last season by this time, not Chelsea were 4 points. That stands now. Chelsea was 7 points in the English Premier League. A date with West Ham at the London Olympic Stadium comes up. Aston Villa, Enzo Maresca, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Fulham, Newcastle, Leicester, Everton, Liverpool, Bournemouth at home. Once it's at Anfield, it's not too difficult. I think the Liverpool can negotiate that. Tottenham Hotspur will play Brentford at home. Another tough one for Tottenham Hotspur. Crystal Palace stay at the Selhurst Park and play against Manchester United. If it was away at the Old Trafford, I'd have said it's going to be easier for them. And Chelsea, West Ham United. But of course, Chelsea coach Enzo Maresca said a few things in the last few hours. I'll run you by it. Then we'll have a good conversation, and then we'll have a very good conversation in that regard. And yesterday, Enzo Maresca granted interview to Chelsea TV, and there were good confirmations about him. Enzo Maresca said where he expected the team to be, team number so, and the development as a team, what he expected from the boys, they are going ahead of it. I've seen the players now been very, very open, man. I think that will be our Chelsea. And for me, I've been impressed with the pragmatism sometimes, how he changes play, how he doesn't really depend on one style of play, how the team seems to be playing in different ways, changing the metamorphosing based on the opponent. And I kind of several times. I'll say off the ball, we already have pressed in 4 different ways, which is true. On the ball, it depends on the opposition different, because we try to find a different solution. Against Crystal Palace, and in the friendly game against Inter Milan, Mekacho said against Crystal Palace, Inter Chelsea, you see the diamond build up to go around the block, because these guys have 5 in the middle. If you are playing against 5 in the middle, you can't go through them centrally. If you don't have the ability to go long, you can't go to them centrally. You have to go around it, and you use the diamond shape to do that. Enzo Maresca in close relationship with players. Apparently, Maresca and the players in a very, very close par, and he always speaks to them in there. So most of the time, we are talking about football, but in general, I like to be quite close with the players. Enzo Maresca, you have to be honest with them, because they like honesty. And this is the issue of Raheem Sterling saying someone the last dynamic. You need to be honest with the players. So when you're honest with them, you are going to have issues with them. And sometimes when you play with them, you have to be very, very honest with players, and then make sure that they understand where you are coming from. And yes, sir, if you are dishonest with them, they see through you. And that's exactly what Enzo Maresca as a coach and everything that's going on in there. Importance of wanting the players, conversations, how close they are, and how to get the best out of them, and of course how to be very honest with players on the team. And those are the things that almost did all of the stuff in there for Enzo Maresca as a player, anyhow good he plays. Yesterday the Champions League games, Barca. See, I like Marc-Andre ter Stegen, but sometimes maybe to see and you get worried. Yesterday, he was the reason why Barca went down by a man. He was the reason why Barca conceded a goal. And Again, you cannot play this many games, about 98 games in the Champions League, and you concede 95 times. And most of the times, Marc-Andre ter Stegen concede from the near post every time. You can't always be conceding from your near post. And yesterday, it was a shambolic performance from Marc-Andre ter Stegen. The red card from Eric Garcia, then how they didn't manage the game well. Of course, go against a team like Monaco in the Champions League and you are down by a man. You have issues. But my problem is that I do not understand why players and in modern games, especially teams from here dominant to the ball, would want to take a red card rather than just allowing themselves to go down by a man to 0 and then build from there. Because if you go down by a man to 0, you can come back and get an equalizer and control the game and then get your win from there. But say maybe a person could channel the red card there, then he puts you at a serious disadvantage even throughout the whole game in the 90 minutes. And that is what Eric Garcia and now Inyasa red card it's affected Barcelona. Victor Boniface said time around Nigeria, he used to pay 13 naira to watch Champions League football and first Champions League game, and now on the first Champions League game, and he is excited. Champions League table, match day 1. Your boy, we are born Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A lot more games for people to watch. And in there, Bayern Munich on top because we come 9 goals on goal difference. And the moment lady 7. Celtic is second with 4 plus 4 goal difference. Bayer Leverkusen plus 4. Aston Villa plus 3. Dortmund plus 3. I mean, there's nothing. But in the league phase, this is how it looks like as it stands now. There are more games to come in the next few weeks. More games ever been, and you watch where your club plays through. Yesterday, Barca lost by 2-1. Mikel Arteta and then the Arsenal side, they went away to Atalanta. Mikel Arteta went away to Atalanta to go and play in a very, very difficult game. See, Gianpiero Gasperini is essentially about the man-for-man market. Say, by a bonny team, be ready to be pressed man for man. Liverpool has seen it. Jurgen Klopp saw it last season. Carlo Ancelotti saw it. If you are dealing with Atlanta, you need to be very careful. Xabi Alonso saw it in the Europa League final. Entire man for man. Mikel Arteta went into this game knowing that he has to be defensively very, very solid because he is a pressure man for man. It's about how well you can win your individual battles and he will do also in games. And Arteta went into this game hoping that Arsenal can win their battles and stuff like that and get goals. But I think it's too defensive. And McCann several times said the Arsenal team has probably become too rigid and mechanical for my liking. Yes, the game is essentially about winning and getting the job done. It's all both games are you want to get a job done. Goals, from set pieces. You want to minimize making of mistakes and then maximize opportunities when you get them. But then again, you understand that the fluidity of games is also very important. Now, Mikel Arteta with his teams don't care about fluidity. It's essentially about the defensive solidity in their games. And it is a Arsenal team now. They have a lot of physical specimens on the team in him. Ricardo Calafiori, Dorian Timber, and now he would push Declan Rice up top with Kai Havertz as outlet to try and hold up the game. I mean, the game ended 0-0, but that's the beauty of Atlanta. Not caring about what you do, pressing you man for man, being aggressive, holding up and stuff like that, which is very, very important. And mind you, Shabantia, your friend David Raya, SCV penalty in there. He was very, very instrumental in that penalty saver, waiting the CV for Arsenal Football Club. And then, of course, Lamine Yamal and and the 4 goals and 4 assists in the first 6 games this season for team and friend in Barcelona. You give a lot of credit to Abrantia, your friend Lamine Yamal. This is where we draw the curtains for this morning's edition of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube at 12. There's going to be another edition at 6 p.m. The Chelsea preview for the Bournemouth game also comes in here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and turn on notification. And our sports. Bye.